wanna give any.
But I don't wanna get us to a point, I don't wanna get us to a point where we don't have enough advertised.
Right, I understand,
Okay.
but I'm going to have department heads say, well, then what do we do?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So I
So-
think,
Make a suggestion on what you want them to put in, to be able to cover it.
in that commissioner's thing that says then how much they should advertise for, I mean, that they recommend, I thought that's the way, I might be wrong, I just asking,
It's, they submit, commissioners review,
and then
and
they
give a
recommend.
recommendation to the council, but the council can also say, please submit enough to cover, so have everybody submit $5,000 more than what it is. And to cover, knowing they're not gonna get it, that's not where we're gonna be.
So they could just do their budgets and I could probably just add,
Correct.
that's where I was.
That was where I was getting to.
Okay.
If we have this done, for a general idea, we don't even need exact numbers, but a general idea that we advertise high enough, because we don't wanna get to the first of the year and start doing additionals for salaries, right?
So I could just make it,
Yeah.
That's good, that's good. I got it.
Any other business? Any other questions for Jackie?
We didn't set a workshop, we didn't set a workshop.
Oh, I
date
guess
yet.
not.
And that's for the people to come in and talk, right?
As soon as he sets his date, then we will definitely be done 2 weeks before that.
So I would say third week of August-ish.
That gives you 6 weeks.
Third week, is that what you said, just like we did last time? And you're going to do that, like, 3 days instead of 2 days, or?
I do not wanna be rushing through these. I'm sorry, but I felt extremely rushed last time,
3 days.
and,
Well, I know you have a council meeting, commissioners meet that week. I'm off on Friday going.
but are you going to do it the discussion way, like
I
you wanted, or?
I didn't want it.
I
It
don't
was
see
an
the,
option,
It was
but I
an
never
But he didn't, yeah.
voted.
It was
No,
just
you-
an
you
option.
want them back to back.
I just don't want to get in a situation where we hear from the department heads, and then we wait 2 weeks, and then we come back and try and.
So you
So
wanna
we need
do
to
that?
It was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. You specified the first week in August, skip the week of Old Settlers, and come back the third week of August. That's 2 weeks.
So anyway, Mr. Beck doesn't like this back to back.
The budget hearings are back
I
to
don't
back.
care. I just
You
don't
wanna,
wanna
you
have.
want the budget hearings, and then
finalized.
when you guys start discussing,
He doesn't wanna wait 2 weeks.
okay. Then that's fine, then that can be,
are you talking about between the budget hearing? I mean, when we have the department heads in, and when we actually go line by line at setting the budget? Or,
Yes, he doesn't want any time between there.
Look, one man's opinion.
uh,
All I'm saying is, it's hard for me to remember what a department head requested 2 weeks ago and why they requested it and why I need to consider the request versus the proposal. 2 weeks is difficult for me personally. So if we condense the time frame and put these meetings a little closer together so that they're fresher in my mind, that would help me. But that's just my opinion. And that was my opinion 25 minutes ago. So maybe we've already addressed it.
I don't
We
think
make
we
that
have.
many changes.
Okay, last year's budget hearings were August 19th and the 20th. If you follow suit, it'd be the 18th and 19th, and you had a meeting on the 19th. I don't think that works very well. Sorry. Because we never seem to get done with the meeting in time to start in, and I don't know, and especially if it's at 10 o'clock.
Well, I mean, it's
How
an hour
about
and
the
a half.
last week of August and then the first week of September? Back to back.
Yeah, because I'm gone the, we did the 23rd through the 37th, or 37th, yeah, 37th.
What day? Beth, I didn't hear this.
I am gone from August 20th, if we keep the, and anyway, to the 27th, possibly the 30th. but It's okay, I will work it out. So if we do, say 31st,
You take 3 days one week and 3 days the following week?
we need to work on it.
Yeah, is that the proposal?
Budget hearings are in 2 days, and then our budget workshop 3 days, is that what I'm understanding?
We didn't take 3 days last time, did we?
No, but I think that was if we were gonna discuss it. This 2 days can be done in 1 day, because we went from 8 AM to 11:30, we started at 11 o'clock the next day, and we went to 3:30. So hearing everybody could be in 1 day if you are, but if you are going to ask them more questions and start cutting during that time, you're gonna need more time.
That whole system to me is really challenging, because
Yeah.
if,
That's out.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
okay.
there's just no way, because, I mean, the way we've done it, and been successful doing it for the last 2 years, is we establish a number before we ever begin. This is the new spending, whether it's 0, a million, 10 million, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's only a certain amount of new dollars, and this would be reverting back to the old way where we did it, where every department you're, debating, and then you get to the end and you're like, oh, we got a number, and then it was way too much, and then you had to go back through again anyway, so it was just a wasted effort. So, like, I can't see how you could debate the merits of everything while that person's there and then go through the process.
I didn't know it was out of the, so.
Yeah.
I didn't take it, I didn't.
So if-
I didn't
so
take
if
it.
that takes a
I thought
day-
we were gonna ask questions.
If that takes a day, Monday the 16th, and then your 2 days of workshop, the 17th and 18th, and then if you had to clean anything up, you're already coming on the 19th.
16th, the commissioners meet on the 16th,
Okay.
so, it's out.
But we had August or September.
It's August.
So you said, August 31st, which is a Tuesday, so Tuesday and Wednesday for the department heads, is that what you're saying? Is that what's for everybody else?
I would rather have it 1 day and just get all the department heads done. And then,
And that would be no question asking or nothing, you just let them
Well-
say their spiel and they're out.
well, I mean, we always ask for questions anyway, but I just wanna do it in 1 day instead of 2 days.
I mean, what did we give? It was like a 15 or 20-minute time slot, wasn't it?
Something like
It-
that.
it's
Except
not-
for ones like the
depends.
jail. I think you can share a little more, but.
I usually gave them 15 minutes, except for some, like,
Jail, sheriff.
unless they have 3 or 4 different, I gave them like 5 minutes for each one.
Okay.
That would be 20 minutes.
I mean, that's great, you think you're getting through
Jill,
it one day?
Jill,
one
I
day.
only gave him 20 minutes.
Oh, we
Okay.
didn't
Couple
do
kids are
more than
in
8
there, so.
hours anyway, we just broke it over 2 days. So, just in terms of being efficient. And then if you wanted to do it that way, then you could haul off, the next day you can start doing your line by line, if you wanted to.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and I don't even think that's necessary, but again, a half an hour ago, when Tracy brought up the idea of starting that first week of August, skipping the second week and going to the third week, that was too much time. That was too much time for me.
Okay. So, we got, go.
So in that scenario though, we could start on the 31st after you got back.
I mean,
And then,
could we just, so you want these earlier than that? I mean, you don't wanna skip a week?
Right,
When
he
do we
doesn't
let-
wanna skip a week.
So, the first, August 31st, and then 3 days later, we're in our session. Right?
you good with that?
You're gonna have Labor Day in there, aren't you?
Okay.
No, that's before every day.
What week are you gone, Beth?
23rd to the 30th.
Okay.
we should be,
So we're done 1 week.
we should be done. See any problems with that, Jackie?
But you guys can survive.
Let's say that.
The life is so much better.
All right, so what are we doing? 31st, you want all departments to present.
So Wednesday is a half a day. Are we just gonna do a half a day on Wednesday, or?
No, let's do
Yes. Sorry.
So we start at 8 to noon on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday.
Sure.
What's your
And that
preference,
is
Jackie?
for what?
Is
For
it-
you guys to work on your budgets?
I'm good. You said them, I'm good. I mean,
Well, I mean, does it make sense for you to come for a half a day?
that'll be your call.
We do it Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Start again on Thursday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Would it be possible to do it from Friday to Monday?
Tuesday.
Or you don't know?
I,
Or do you wanna do the first week of September?
You can do earlier.
Oh, that's Labor Day.
yeah. So Friday's better.
Friday's real bad. I get all
Let
my
me-
trips.
Let me do some checking. Can I do that first before we do this? And then just decide on dead set dates on the 15th, or the 14th, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I need to just check these dates.
Any other business for the council?
One thing, I went to commissioner meeting this month, and they, talked about, Abby and Libby investigation needs to move out of the building that it's been over here because the police department needs to expand and do a bunch of work on the building. So Anita Worthing asked if the commissioners could look around for, a building around town. And Bill's been looking at some buildings around town. We've got community corrections that we're spending money out, they're renting a building over here, and if we bought a building, we wouldn't have to rent a building, and it would be a long-term investment. I'm for purchasing a building, if we can find one, for community corrections, the prosecutor's office, and the Abby and Libby investigation, which is gonna take years and gonna require a private room where, lead or information can't get, it has to be locked at all times, it's a, what I'm saying. And so the commissioners are asking us to, if we have any input on this. I just wondered, does anybody, are you guys okay with maybe purchasing a building if we can find one? I know Napa was for sale, and several people, Bill Brown, a bunch of people went through the Napa building. I understand it's not for sale anymore, but it's just something that's gonna come up where we're gonna need to consider that. And if anybody wants to be involved in going through buildings or, taking a look when commissioners go, or when the prosecutor's office goes and takes a look at buildings, any thoughts from anybody?
Why's prosecutor?
They don't have enough room, is my understanding.
I thought they got the whole third floor.
The prosecutors?
Well, commissioners were also, what was presented, but did not include community corrections, it also was, EMA, EMA in the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the rationale of all this. I mean, if we just went and rented a space for $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year, for 25 years, we can rent that, for half the price of what the Napa building is listed for. So, I mean, it depends on, there's a lot of moving pieces here.
Yes.
So,
I think they were thinking of all those right there, but they were also thinking about just the adding limit.
I mean, but they, we've got, some crowding issues if we're renting a space for community corrections and that's why I bring it up. I mean, you've got an opinion, you've got an opinion, we've all got opinions.
well,
So-
I mean, that's,
But buying versus renting, I don't agree that you can rent a building around here for $500. I mean, I think you need to lock it in personally, get ownership of it, so that you can use, you can have long-term plans and do things long-term for the next generation. That's all.
I mean, you're talking about a lot of things, just.
Big picture,
Airbnb
not big picture.
you can't make a decision about huge, like, you're talking about a big project, and just like, and it seems like as you first asked questions later, I'm saying like, what's the goal of buying a building? Like.
I listed
but
about
like-
4 different uses for a
Well,
building.
I know, but why? That's my question. Like, before I say, yes, I wanna buy a building, I wanna know why. Why does Nick need to be out of the courthouse? Why do we, a lot of
You
whys.
want more details?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so the other thing is like, time, the Abbey Libby thing is like, the amount of square footage that they're operating out of currently, like, I think you could easily rent that for $500 a month. It's not a tremendous space, it's not a huge space, so, like, but
I mean, it
that's
does-
an urgent need.
Yeah.
No, that is an urgent need, because Delphi needs to get us out of there,
Right.
so, but I don't know what the correct.
Yeah, I'm saying if we have an urgent need, and it would, to me, it would be long-term thinking to buy something that we could, use in the future, because things seem to grow, and so, that's my thought. Appreciate yours.
I think we can do with that. If we need to rent right now, there's nothing saying if it becomes available, I mean, everything's lookable.
Yeah, okay.
Prosecutor needs more room, and we can put more.
I would just reiterate, the town of Flora has offered rent-free space for a 911 backup center that right now we are not utilizing and have not had the appetite to fund. If Abby and Libby investigation needs to move, that could be an option that the town of Flora has already said that they would cooperate with the county on, so. I'm not, I'm not sure where we're at on buying a building, but that could be a pretty quick solution if the pieces work.
So they did say they would rent for the Abbey Living?
No, but they
Okay,
have previously told Cassie and the 911 department that it's available and it would be able to be utilized rent-free. I think they'd have to cover the utilities, but that's, I don't wanna speak out of turn, but those were previous conversations that took
we
place.
need to let them know so they can know about the security and all that other, that's the main thing that they're looking for is security, I believe.
Well, I can't imagine a storefront with glass windows would be
They've already
the
turned
way to
down a
go.
couple of places because of that.
So,
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.